Yo, what is good, everybody? Welcome to today's trade recap. Today is the 3rd of December. A little bit of a weird day today on ES here, but let's just jump straight into it. All right, so first things first, like usual, hop in the chart an hour after. Immediately after I hopped on, I saw this huge up candle, and it's kind of just like, I thought there was a news event or something that I missed. Check for news events. There wasn't anything at all. I mean, there was stuff earlier in the day and then Trump speaking after, but nothing at like 9:30 or 9:32 to cause that. So I just chilled, stayed back. I had these two levels marked out beforehand, but I didn't want to take anything off of these. I saw the first rejection off the overnight point of control, didn't take it. I saw the second rejection, didn't take it. And then what I saw was we had this high volume node forming. Now, this isn't like a super prominent high volume node or anything like that, but it is a high volume node that just developed. And I had it marked out like this. I like one more tick down marked out. So I was like, you know what? If we break to the downside of this high volume node and these two levels, I will feel comfortable entering into something. So that is what I did. Waited for that break. I got that break with this down candle. My down candles are white. So with this down candle, I was like, cool, that's a break, because it was about like 2.5 points. I was like, cool. I put in my limit order with a 2.5 point stop loss, 5.25 point take profit. And we got entered in. And unfortunately, we were 3 ticks away from hitting our TP and it came back. Now, part of the good news is I like half followed my risk management plan. I did not move my stop loss. I did cut my risk in half halfway through, and then I did also move my stop loss to actual break even once price moved 75% of the way to my take profit, but I did not follow my rule of putting it 25% of the way to my take profit. So I ended up either like making like $1 or $2 or like losing a few dollars from that break even. However, this was like all happening so fast. This like up candle after this down candle of the break happened very quickly. So on my funded next account, I actually got a better entry because price was higher up. So I actually got entered in at 68.49.25. So I got entered in right here. Same thing, 2.5 point stop loss. And we were 1 tick away from hitting our take profit. Super unlucky there, but it is what it is. And I entered in with 2 contracts as well. So I was risking 250 on my account. However, on my funded next account, I actually, once I got stopped out at break even on my first position on my TPT account, I also exited on my funded next account. So I made about $140 on my funded next account off that trade. So that one is immediately just looking better than my take profit trader account is off that trade. And then let's get into the second trade. So there was other stuff I looked for here. I saw this third bounce and I was like, okay, now I know that this is a well-respected level. We have some volume in here. And then obviously what I really like to see is no volume. One of the best setups that I find is when I'm actually fading levels because of low volume. So I'm like, you know what? I will feel comfortable going for the bounce again if it comes back up. And I did look at this here too, which if you look, this would have been like a really good trade. But I was like, you know what? There's not really any high volume node here. This level was not respected in the past. I'm not going to touch it. But if someone did take that, they would have gotten a very nice trade with very minimal drawdown. But anyways, this was another trade I was looking at. I'll drag out the chart a little bit more so you can see what I was seeing in the moment. And this is what I had. So I had my limit order for a short set 1 tick before the overnight level, just like I always do. And then I had a 5.25 point take profit, same as before. And this is on both accounts. They had the same limit order set. And we never got entered in. It was 1 tick away from entering us in. And that happened like 3 times. This first white candle, 1 tick away, instantly rejected down. Then this second white candle came up and it went one tick away like 3 separate times and then rejected down again. A little bit unfortunate. And when I was actively watching this, I thought about moving my limit order down 1 tick, but I was like, I trust where my levels are. I'm not going to do that. So I didn't move my entry or anything like that. But if I did move my entry, I would have ended up being a really, really, really good trade. But we missed out on that one by 1 tick. So a little bit unfortunate. First trade missed out on the take profit by 3 ticks and 1 tick on my Fund Next account. And then second trade, we missed getting entered by 1 tick on both my accounts, and it would have been a phenomenal trade. So that is very sad already. But I stayed patient. I'm actually very proud of myself for staying patient today, and not just trying to jump into any trade that I saw. Okay, next thing I was looking for, I did not want to fade this level for the 5th time. Like, it's already been faded once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. I was not going to be the person to try to fade this level for a 4th time, especially when we're already looking pretty bullish on the day and recovering from this dump that happened at the end of the overnight. So I was not going to be going for another short again there. I also saw the point of control shifting up here. It was bouncing between these 2 levels. I'm like, yep, I'm not going to look for any more shorts today. I'm going to look for a long, if anything. So I was watching actively when this was happening, and I'm like, if I get a strong break, I will be comfortable looking for a long off this overnight level and off of this current session value area high level. So what I considered the break was this candle right here. I considered that as the break. So I was like, okay, cool. Once I saw that candle close significantly above, I went ahead and put my order in immediately. 1 tick above the level, like I always do. 2.5 point stop loss. I don't always do this, actually. This is just something I've been doing the past few days, and it has been working pretty well because any of the like really good trades I've been taking, I either get very little drawdown or like no drawdown at all. So this has been working pretty well, at least for the way that the conditions have been the past like week or 2. So this is what I had marked out. Perfect bottom tick when it came back down for the retest. Mark out my risk management like how I had it during the trade. Oops, that is not the fib. Okay, marked out like this. Immediately, perfect bottom tick, shot up, moved 50% of the way towards my TP, moved my stop loss up 50%. So my stop loss was then 1.25 points, extremely low risk. Then moved 75% of the way, moved my stop loss up to 25% in profit. And unfortunately, we got stopped out for 25% profit. I was very hesitant on actually moving to 25%. There was a moment there where I did actually move my stop to break even and then back up to 25%. A little bit of mental battles there, but I'm very glad that I did actually. Wow, look at this. I don't know why this is holding so well, especially when it's like a point of control level, but anyways, I'm not really sure what was going on in my head when I moved it back to break even, but I'm glad I did in the end have it at 25% profit, because then I actually at least made some money. And since I was a little bit heavier on the contract size, I went in with 6 cons. That ended up being a pretty sizable amount. So on the day, I'm up about $500 on my TPT account, which puts me at like break even. So yep, that's pretty much the trading day. Or wait, I actually got to talk about too. Since I made that $140 earlier on my Funded Next account, this was actually a winning trade for my Funded Next account. So I got stopped out, or not stopped out, but I exited the trade earlier because I have it to auto liquidate and block me for the day. If I hit $550 profit on the day, so that exited me out. So this was another $500 winning day on my Funded Next funded account. So if I get one more of these $500 days, I will be able to request a max payout for this account size of $800, which is nice. And then I would have like $700 of drawdown to work with after that. But I'm not going to get too ahead of myself or anything like that. But it is obviously in the back of my mind. Now, honestly, I do think today was a good trading day. I think it was unfortunate a little bit how things played out, but I'm glad that I kept a cool head and only took trades that I was very confident in. So it is a little bit unlucky, but sometimes that just happens. I do need to keep an eye on the date as well, because on the 14th, like I said in yesterday's recap, is when I get rebilled for the TPT account. Because for some reason, when you reset their accounts, they don't reset the billing date like other firms do, like TopStep, MyFund Futures, etc. So the 14th is my final day to pass the account, which is a Sunday, so I won't even be able to do that. So unless I have something good happen, either tomorrow or Friday, then I will be upping risk for pretty much the entirety of the next week, and probably leaving runner contracts as well on trades that I take. But other than that, hope you guys enjoyed the trade recap, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Peace.